Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem, and we're done with the parade of homes. So do you go on vacation now?
Jeff, we are so not done with the parade of homes. Only the Utah Valley parade of homes we're done with, because guess what? The Salt Lake parade of homes is now starting, and we are definitely keying up for that. It is August 2nd through the 17th. So, Jeff, you get to come and see another parade of homes. I know you loved Utah Valley so much.
No, I did enjoy it, and there are things that are still stuck in my head that I'd love to do with my manse, but I don't have one.
Do you have a honey-do list from the parade of homes that your wife just had some ideas and loved?
It's the same one I've been hearing since the first parade of homes we did about a dozen years ago. She wants those built-in bunk beds for the grandkids.
Right?
Forever she wants these. And it's like there was one house that had like 8 of them in the room. And it's like 8 kids. We don't have 8 grandkids.
Not yet anyway, huh? If you live in Utah, Jeff, those bunk rooms are all the rage. I don't know about you, but 8 bunk beds in one room kind of seems like a disaster waiting to happen.
Chaos.
I don't know what
Chaos.
you do. Does anyone even sleep in a bunk room with 8 bunk beds? I don't know. Maybe if you have a television, they'll get bored and get tired and go to sleep. But that's always fun. So today I'm really excited to have 2 guests on the show with us. We have the owner of ShadeCo, Jeff Blodgett, on the show with us, and we have one of their salespeople and interior designers, Melanie Twiddy, on the show. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
If you went through the parade of homes, you noticed all of the window coverings. They're one of those things that if they're done well, they blend, and you don't really notice them until you notice them. Melanie recently was in my personal home. If you've been listening to the show, we've been talking about the journey of me finding another home in our neighborhood, and I made this big move, and we did extreme home makeover in approximately 11 days so that I could move in. And Melanie, you were part of that because I had your help in installing and selecting all the window coverings for my personal home. So not only do you need window coverings in your own home, but also in your commercial, business. So you guys are the experts in the industry. I'm so grateful to have you because you're going to give us some tips and tricks that are going to be really useful. However, Jeff, before we begin, I just want to find out, you're the owner. How did you get into this business?
So I was working up for a company that was in Canada, and I've got a family here in Salt Lake. And so doing the commute back and forth after years starts to grind on you. And so I decided I needed to figure out something that I could do here locally to be able to spend all the quality time that I wanted to with my family. And so window coverings is never anything that I had anticipated doing. My friend had worked with a window covering company and pointed them out to me and decided to start a window covering business. And I partnered up with a couple great partners, and yeah, we got the ball rolling about 5 years ago, and it's been just growing and growing ever since.
And you have incredible brands, great resources, so many options at every price point. We'll get into that a little bit more later on in the show. But Melanie, how did you get into the window covering business?
Well, thanks for having me here today. I'm so excited to be here with you. It was really fun designing with you. So that's partly why I got into this business. I just really enjoy people and design. But I initially started out my career in the private equity line of work. I managed properties and developed properties, spent a lot of time at city council meetings, all of those things. And I would find the days I loved to go to work the most is when I was meeting with designers to design projects and layouts and just all different design type of things. And so when this kind of fell into my lap, I'm like, I think that's what I want to do. I'd prefer to just design all the time. So this just really fell into my lap about 5 years ago, and then I've just run with it and loved it ever since.
So right after the show today, we're actually going to ShadeCo. I have this incredible client up in Park City. They're building one of the most beautiful homes in Park City, and we will be helping them make all of those selections. So we get to go through the process. But how does that process work? If you are, in your home right now, you're listening to this KSL show, what do you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think for me personally, I am a consumer. And so even more so than a designer, I try to look from the consumer's perspective. And what I mostly want to do when I first go into a home is really just ask a lot of questions. I want to get to know, because my design might be different. I have great ideas, but I don't live in that home. And so typically I will just start out by trying to make the customer or the client feel very comfortable by also asking a lot of questions. Like, what do you like about your current window coverings? What have you seen? I mean, there's some clients who absolutely know exactly what they want when you walk in the door. And there's others who are like overwhelmed by the whole process. So really just finding out kind of a baseline, like where are we at? Just let's get to know, the client, what their needs are. Budget is also a really good question, because there's a lot of things that are really very expensive and high end. And then there's some things that are a little more budget friendly. I mean, nothing is cheap these days in the building industry, but we definitely want to take that in consideration as well. I think a lot of people are scared to approach a designer or a company to come in and help them, because they're like, well, I'll just do it myself. It's going to be too expensive. But we do take that in consideration. Like, well, let's start with where's your budget? What do you love? And then we kind of build from there.
And I feel like that's what gives us a leading advantage in the marketplace here in Utah, is that we carry at least a dozen different brands. And so we're able to find something. If you have a home that's tens of millions of dollars and you want the very top of the line, we have a solution for you. We have a solution if you have a few $100s and you need to cover a window or two in your home. So we have such a wide variety that we're almost always able to find a solution that works well for the customer, looks great, and they're happy at the end of the day.
I agree. So I'm a born and raised Utah girl. So I get the culture. I went to Provo High, went to BYU, got married, made a big move to Orem, and now I live in Alpine. So I'm pretty much Utah County, but I'm an interior designer. So I'm in homes all over Salt Lake, Park City, St. George, all over. As part of that, I go into most people's homes and they have either blinds or shutters. And, those were really cool back in the day, but they do cover a lot of those window space and really hinder the light coming in. So if you are in a home, you have blinds or shutters, maybe look and see if there are some of those spaces or some of those rooms that you do just want to take them off.
Yeah, I think that's, as you were speaking about earlier, where a lot of times you don't even notice the window coverings until you have them drop down. And that's something that we have quite a few different options that will almost disappear into the home when the shades are not being used. We put windows in our home for a reason, so that we can see outside. So when they are constantly covered up by a window covering that's maybe larger or just doesn't get out of the window, it just takes away from the feel of the room, where you can raise it up, get the full view through your window.
Something interesting too about the blinds and shutters reference is, before I started really getting into the design world of window coverings, I didn't even know there was anything other than blinds and shutters, because until you really start to look at the home design and how it all flows, and like you said, just having it flow and just be consistent and look lovely and nice, you just don't know there's other options besides, a 2-inch, blind that opens and closes, or shutters. And so there really is so many options out there on the market today, which is fun.
So much fun. And oftentimes I feel like they just need to be removed. Sometimes people don't need the privacy in their family room. If they don't have a backyard neighbor, what's the point?
Right?
Yeah, I think that's really an important thing. Like, put the money where you need the window covering. There are a lot of windows in the house that it's better to not cover them at all. You don't need them there. And so save that money, or use it to upgrade other parts of your home.
For sure. And there's so many options. So in bedrooms, for example, I love the softness of the roller shades and the Roman shades, and to have those blend in with the paint colors. I mean, you guys have all of those options, and we'll get into more of the details of all of that coming up. When you buy an existing home, oftentimes there are window coverings that are already there. So we're on the theme right now of shutters and blinds. Some of them just need to be removed. There's no reason to have them. There's no reason to replace window coverings for those areas. So if you're in your home right now, you're thinking about your home, maybe you're driving down the road, what rooms in your home don't even need window coverings? Start there, get those taken off, and then you can call someone like ShadeCo to help you explore all of the other options that are available. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. Stay tuned because we have a lot more in store for you.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Smith's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Smith's worth it every time. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Summer is the season of sun, fun, and freedom.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no better way to take advantage of every minute and every mile than with a low-rate auto loan from America First Credit Union. Plus, for a limited time, when you finance your new vehicle with America First, you can let your wallet enjoy some time off, too, with no payments for 90 days. So make your summer move. Head to AmericaFirst.com to apply for pre-approval of your low-rate auto loan today. Eligibility, terms, conditions, and creditworthiness apply. Subject to change. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
I'm Jeff Caplan from KSL News Radio. Do you want to receive the latest news, traffic, and weather all in one place? All you have to do is subscribe to the KSL text line. Text the word news to 57500 and you'll get the latest news, traffic, and weather updates, sometimes before we get them on the air. I'll catch you on the radio weekday afternoons on KSL News Radio.
I'm Jenny Taylor.
And I'm Michelle Scharf. We are excited to invite you to listen to our podcast, Relentlessly Resilient, presented by Minky Couture. Each week, a guest shares their own powerful stories of enduring challenges and the tools of resiliency they have learned along the way. Sometimes it's the small steps of finding their support system, knowing that they're loved, and being kind to themselves.
And what I love is that we can see everybody has a story, something they've been through, lessons they've learned, something to share and add to this conversation. We all come away uplifted and enlightened and really educated on certain steps we can take and tools we can develop ourselves so that we can also move forward and live our best lives.
Find us on KSLpodcast.com, the KSL News Radio app, or your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, whatever you do today, remember to be kind. You have no idea the struggles other people are dealing with in their lives.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Show, and thank you for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs with stores in Lehigh and Orem. Do you even get to take a breath between these parades of homes?
Barely, Jeff. You know what? We love it. It's something we're passionate about. So we kind of just live for this season. It's a Super Bowl for us. We're just finishing the Utah Valley Parade of Homes, but don't worry because the Salt Lake Parade of Homes is right around the corner. It starts August 2nd through the 17th, and we are already furnishing our Salt Lake Parade. It is a beautiful mountain modern home in the Mill Creek area. We love this home and we're really, really excited about it. We'll give you a little behind the scenes view of that as the weeks, go along. But today we have ShadeCo on the show with us. They are a window covering company. Not only do you do residential, you also do commercial. And windows I think are something that people overlook the importance of them until you're living in the home, and then you realize, oh, I need that. I don't want to be that neighbor that has the sheets, in my window or the tin foil or whatever. And there are specific rooms that you need. Today we have the owner, Jeff Blodgett, on the show with us, and Melanie Twiddy. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
So fun. Okay, so how does this process work? If you're a KSL listener, do they call you, and then what happens from there?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a couple of things. We have some different avenues that you can do. Obviously, you can go into our showroom. We have a gorgeous showroom that's in Sugar House. So if you just want to Google that, or Jeff probably has the address just right off the top of his head.
It's right across the street from Sugar House Park on 15th East and 21st South. And we have one in Midvale and one in Midway as well.
Yeah, so 3 places you can go and just go to the showroom, see the beautiful things. We also have an Instagram. My Instagram with my friend is Shade Savvy by ShadeCo. So that's kind of our little design page. And then also ShadeCo has their own Instagram page as well. And then obviously our website.
And ShadeCo's Instagram is @MyShadeCo.
Yep. So those are great places to just go and visually be able to see what we're talking about here on the show today. So the process looks like you giving us a call, going onto our Instagram, or just contacting us. And I have a moving showroom. I have a van full of every possible thing you would want to see in window coverings, which is fun. I have full hand samples, so I can actually come out to your home, put the samples up in the window, pull them down, put them up, see what we think, see how they look, see how they feel in your home. And then just really, like I said, start with just asking you a lot of questions, what it is you're looking for, what's your budget, and then we just have fun. Like you and I had such a great time doing your home, and we've become friends, which is what my goal is really. I want to leave there with the client feeling like we are friends and you have a friend in your home that's really just trying to help you navigate this crazy world of window coverings, because there is really a lot of options. So yeah, we just go through the design process, pick out fabrics, pick out if we're doing roller shades. There's options if you want to do cordless or motorized, or there's a lot of new safety features with, that's a great point you made too about going into a home that maybe is an existing home that has old window coverings. They have now outlawed cords. And so you cannot really even have a home or sell a home that has a corded shade in it. It's just because of the safety issues, which I'm so grateful for. And so we really just take all those options in consideration when we're trying to figure out, well, do you have children, and should we motorize, should we cordless, all these different things. So those are all the things that we'd go through in the design process.
Wait, we have up and down cords in our house. Am I going to get arrested?
You, Jeff, we really need to be over there fixing this problem for you. Let me tell you where to go. Just kidding.
Jeff, you're in big trouble, and now we just talked about it on KSL.
Exactly. So, yeah, no, Jeff, I got you. I'll come over and help you. We'll get that fixed.
Okay, before I have the right to remain silent, you
yes.
better get over.
Yes, exactly.
Jeff should be arrested for other things. I don't know about cords in the windows.
Oh, pish posh.
You're fun.
Anyway, so those type of updates. And then, yeah, we go through the design process, and then we pick out things. We get your order going. We get them ordered. We kind of take just everything from A to Z. We get the products in, and then we have employees of ours that are obviously, I think for me as a mom and someone who cares about safety, I really want to know who's going to be in my home. So that's another thing is our installers are amazing, and just I would trust them in my own home, which makes me feel good. They're not just like random contracted people. Like they are people that we know and trust and feel comfortable putting them in your home as well. And so yeah, just from process A to Z, we come out, show you product, order, and then the installer comes out and installs. And I don't know, Jeff, what else do we do?
I think it's important to note that within that process, we'll send you, we go through what you would like to see in your home. A lot of times what you want and what is practical don't necessarily align. So we'll send you a proposal, obviously. And if it comes out that it may be a little bit more than you're looking to spend, we'll go back, shuffle the deck a little bit, figure out what we can do, what the best solution is within your budget. And then from that point, we order the shades and then we come get them installed.
I think that's amazing. And education is huge. And you guys know more than anyone I've ever met about window covering. So helping people know what is available is huge so that they can make the right decision for each individual space in their room. Okay, so I have to just tell you, one of my favorite things in my home is the remote that controls all the window shades. I have these gorgeous roller shades in my bedroom, and I literally sit in my bed and just go up and down. I'm like, this is so cool.
Amazing.
I'm easily amused, but those things just, are something I appreciate. I've never had that before, and I absolutely love it. Stay tuned because we're going to talk to you a little bit more about what the 2024 and 2025 trends are for window coverings. You won't want to miss it.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Granger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know you can get the 3 things you need to know delivered right to you? Just go to KSLNewsRadio.com, click on menu, and then newsletter.
Or go to the KSL News Radio app and you click on menu, and then it's email alerts.
This is even easier. Just text the word inbox to 57500.
Get the top national and local stories with the 3 things you need to know newsletter.
2 years ago, Americans watched in horror as a crisis unfolded at the Kabul airport.
She was tear-gassed and beaten.
Images of thousands desperate to escape Taliban oppression filled our news feeds. More than 80,000 Afghans made it to America. But the story didn't end there.
It was very cold. There was no power, no heat.
Who would help our newest neighbors? I'm Andrea Smartin. In Stranger Becomes Neighbor, you'll hear the stories of some remarkable refugees who left their homes and their dreams behind, only to start over from zero.
Their only possession was 3 blankets.
And you'll meet Americans who stepped up to help them.
You want me to come when you deliver your baby.
What can one person do in the face of an international disaster decades in the making? That's Stranger Becomes Neighbor. Find us at kslpodcast.com, follow us on Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you listen.
911, what's your emergency?
They kidnapped my son.
What would you do if your child disappeared and someone you trusted was responsible?
We thought he cared for McKay, when in fact he didn't care for anyone.
Listen to Ransom now at ransompodcast.com.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
It's the Real Estate Show. Thank you for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond from Osmond Designs is here. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are, Jeff. And we are so lucky because we have ShadeCo on the show with us today. We have Jeff Blodgett and Melanie Twiddy on the show as our guests. And I'm an interior designer, so I just like things to look pretty. I like them to be functional, but I like them to look nice. And window coverings is something that is oftentimes forgotten about, but is very, very important. And I think a lot of people don't even know what is available. So for this segment, we're going to talk about the 2024 and 2025 trends. And for me, it's just texture and color and style that I'm most excited about. So we're going to go through just what are some of the types of window coverings. We'll talk about each of the specifics of those maybe to begin with, and then we'll talk about, all the fun bells and whistles that you can add to that. So, Jeff, go ahead.
So I would say the most popular thing by a long shot that we sell are roller shades. I think roller shades, people have this conception that they only belong in a contemporary home, that they're going to be plain, and that they may not fit their style of home, which may be true. A Roman shade, or there's other types that may fit your home, but roller shades actually have tons of different fabrics that you can pick from where they look more elegant and more traditionally styled than the contemporary roller shade that you may picture in your head when you're thinking about what a roller shade is.
And roller shades, you'll see them a lot in restaurants and office buildings.
Yeah, so and we do those as well. And when you see them in a restaurant or in an office building, you may picture that kind of trampoline-like material, which is very popular in homes. In a living room that you want to maintain a view, it's actually a very beautiful solution. But you may not want that in your bedroom. You may want to go with something a little bit more dressy than that. And privacy is something else that's taken into consideration when we're designing the project for you.
Absolutely. And oftentimes those textures can look like a silk. They can look like a linen. Lots of really great textures that are available. So they can be in your office, in your restaurant, but also that same application can be used in multiple areas in your home.
Yeah, and so the fabric choices on roller shades are almost endless. And another really great thing about roller shades is that when they roll up, they just go onto a tiny little roll, and you have the full view of your window. The shade is gone. So if you don't want the shade to be a centerpiece in the room, a roller shade is a fantastic solution for you.
I think they're fantastic. Okay, so some of the bells and whistles that you can do on roller shades. Number one, remote.
You can do remotes.
Coolest thing ever.
Coolest thing ever. It's so funny, too, that I have now found since motorization and smart homes have become so popular, men are getting really excited about window coverings. I used to just meet with only women. And Jeff, I think he's wanting to get more into that.
I had them once,
Yeah,
and I did the same thing. Up, down, up, down. It's absolutely fascinating. I imagine it was about 15 years ago when I had them. Can you control them with your Alexa now?
You absolutely can. So yeah, we can make everything smart home. You can put it on an app. You can control it when you're away from home.
So Alexa, roll the windows up.
You bet.
You can put them on a timer. So if you go out of town or at 5 p.m., specific windows go down or up or whatever. They also have blackout options. So for bedrooms, I'm a person that I just like it to be super dark when I'm asleep. So I love that blackout option. And then there's other rooms in my home that I want to be able to see out. So they have the light filtering options. So people can't really see in, you can still see out. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so just to touch on that a little bit more, and then we can move on from roller shades. But so if you don't know what a roller shade is, it just is what it sounds like. It rolls up to the top. It's either a sheer fabric that you can see out of, and you can do light filtering that's private, and you can also do blackout. And then again, obviously various different things like motorization and that type of thing. We can do them for commercial or residential. Something else just to touch on that's popular and kind of coming back in the shade industry that I've noticed this year is drapes. So just the draperies are coming back, which I love because when you have a space and the shades, kind of disappear, it's almost like you can just really pull in some fun fabrics to create a fun space.
And this is the frosting of the
Yes,
cake,
the
right?
frosting.
Oh, so beautiful. You walk into a bedroom and there's just gorgeous drapes. Oh, I'm obsessed.
Is there a particular type of house where opulent drapes work best?
I think all houses can work good with drapes. I think that there are some situations that I stay away from drapes. A lot of people are leaning more towards clean lines as well. So if you have a really, really modern house, draperies always don't pair well with that, but you can. It really just depends on the style. But yeah, clean lines are important in some applications, but draperies have made a comeback.
And there's so many different styles of draperies. This is not our grandma's draperies
right,
that we're talking
swaggy
about.
Hanging
with the
like
fringe and the florals.
That's what I envisioned.
No.
See, that's a great question then, because there's listeners who might be envisioning that. No, it's more of a clean line drapery, very much, not even necessarily drapes that cover the windows, more of like a decorative panel on the side.
They frame the window.
They just frame the window.
A beautiful linen, a beautiful velvet can be very modern in the right style.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to picture what we're talking about in your head, head over to our Instagram at My ShadeCo or at Shade Savvy by ShadeCo, and you can see a lot of different examples. There's everything from very traditional homes with draperies. There are extremely nice, very contemporary homes that we've done draperies in as well. And so I think that it more comes down to the fabric that you choose to fit the style of home that you've built.
I agree. Okay, outdoor shades are all the rage right now. Utah is very, very hot, and then in the winter it's very, very cold. So a lot of us are building those outdoor spaces, and there's usually, one side of our home of that deck that's just obnoxiously hot. So to have that outdoor shade that comes down, these are great for that.
Yeah, our installers are dreading exterior shade season. They're extremely heavy and hard to hang, but the amount of use you can get out of your deck after having an exterior shade there to cut down that glare, cut down the sun just baking on you. But you typically with an exterior shade, you're going to pick a fabric that you can still see through. So it's going to be for temperature control, and it can help protect your furniture that's on your deck. They are extremely popular, and they're built really, really, really tough. So they're made to be able to live outdoors here in Utah. They're built to be able to withstand all the elements and be outside. These aren't the exterior shades that you could go buy at Home Depot that may last for a few years. These are built to last and really just help to bring your deck space together.
Those have some cool features too. Sorry to cut you off, but I just wanted to say on those, you can also motorize those, and then they have things like wind sensors. So if it gets windy, it just automatically takes it up. There's some cool things on the outdoor shades as well.
So many cool things. They block light, the dust, and the wind, and they're heavy. And so when it is windy, they don't just flap around, which is fantastic. I love those. Most of us have specific spaces and specific sizes, and you guys can customize those. This is not stuff that you go buy at a big box store. This is a level up from all of that, but even the pricing doesn't have to be. So if you are on a budget, regardless of what your budget is, you guys have almost something for everyone. You're doing those super expensive Park City, Heber homes, and St. George homes, as well as starter homes.
Yeah, we do. And the motorization also, 5 years ago, motorization was not where it is today. You may have gone into someone's home who had some motorized shades that were installed between 5 and 10 years ago, and they might have seemed a little bit hokey, a little dorky, or the batteries weren't lasting.
Or they're loud.
Right? Now they're
Mm-hmm.
dead silent, and the batteries last a year. If we can hardwire them, we hardwire them whenever possible. And the price has also come down significantly to motorize your home.
And to touch on that, when he says hardwire, for people who don't understand what that means, a lot of the new homes, you can automatically hardwire the shades. So basically they put wiring up into where the shades are going to be installed, but you don't have to have that. We can do rechargeable motors, rechargeable batteries. So there is other options if you don't have a home that is already hardwired.
And the sizing that our vendors will build these battery operated shades, it's growing all the time as battery technology gets better. So we can battery power very large shades. And for those exterior shades, we can have them run off the sun, actually. We have a solar powered solution for those. We have solar.
I didn't hear about that one. That's amazing.
Yeah, we have solar powered solutions for both interior and exterior shades.
Wow. So not only do you do all of the different styles, all the different textures, customization of the sizing, what people don't realize is that shades actually regulate temperature so they can cool off a space that gets really, really hot. We all have that room in our home that gets really, really hot.
Yep.
So this will help with that. We can control the light, which I think is huge. Privacy is another thing that's very, very important. We all have that neighbor on one side. You just cannot plant enough trees to, help with that. I love the master bathrooms that you guys can do where it's actually a top down.
Those are great.
The best. So you can
Such a
be
great
in your
solution.
bathtub and still see out the top side of your window there. So cool.
That's very practical. Do you do anything in the city? Because I'm thinking of apartment dwellers when you mention privacy. Is that any part of your market?
Yeah, one of my favorite projects that we did, it was not by any means the largest, but it was right down here by the studio. It was across the street from the Gateway, and we did some roller shades. They wanted to do 2 roller shades for each, so they wanted to have a light filtering option, but then also be able to black out their home. And it was one of those like warehouse industrial feel type of condos, and we were able to go in there and find them the perfect solution. And that one is also on our Instagram. It's one of my favorites to see the fabrics up against the brick wall, the exposed brick in the home. And then they actually did an exterior shade out on their balcony. And it was very cool. So yes, we do apartments and condos downtown all the time.
That's fantastic. Okay, so if you're doing new construction, usually window coverings are not part of that. We're going to give a quick shout out to Central Bank. Not only do they do construction loans, they do HELOC loans, which will help you have a budget for window coverings if you need that They are loyal and trusted local partners of this KSL real estate show. And, you know, I'm a little biased because they're my bank, not only for my personal, but also for my business, and have helped me create Osmond Designs to what it is today. So thank you, Central Bank. We love you and definitely want to support you in your business. Stay tuned. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. We have ShadeCo on the show with us today, and we have Jeff Blodgett, who is the owner, Melanie Twiddy, who is the designer. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Dave Cawley, investigative journalist and host of the podcast Cold. In October of 1985, a woman named Cherie Warren left work at a busy Salt Lake City office
to meet her estranged husband at a downtown auto dealership.
She never made it home. Cherie's car surfaced weeks later in Las Vegas.
In the parking lot of a hotel casino.
No one knows how it got there.
Strange. It was strange.
Both Cherie's estranged husband and her boyfriend raised suspicion for investigators.
I kind of thought that he might have done something.
But no arrests were ever made. In Cold Season 3, we dig into double lives, make new connections in the case, and examine the difficulty raised by reasonable doubt.
We want answers just as much as anyone else.
They have creeps like that now too, so nothing's changed.
That's the new Cold Season 3, The Search for Cherie, now available anywhere you get your podcasts.
911, what's your emergency?
They kidnapped my son.
What would you do if your child disappeared and someone you trusted was responsible?
We thought he cared for McKay, when in fact he didn't care for anyone.
Listen to Ransom now at ransompodcast.com.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
We're back on the KSL Real Estate Show, and thank you for listening. Jeff Caplan here with Heather Osmond from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And I do a lot of interior design across the Wasatch Front, and I'm in a lot of homes. And today I am so happy and proud to have Jeff Blodgett and Melanie Twiddy. They are from ShadeCo. Jeff, you're the owner. This is so cool that you guys are one of the best in the entire state of Utah. You've been helping us know what all the tips and tricks and trends are in the window coverings, not only for residential, but also for commercial applications. One of the things we were talking about during the break that I didn't even know about, that I said we have to save that, we have to talk about that, is your window glass.
Yeah.
What in the world is this? This is so cool.
So we have this product that it's a tint that goes on the glass. We don't have to replace the glass in your window, and you can push a button and it will frost your window instantly so that it's completely private. And then you flip it again and you can see perfectly through the window. And you could even put it on a dimmer so you can have it partially frosted and then partially not frosted. So it's really cool stuff. It's quite easy to retrofit it into people's homes, and it's called Smart Glass. So if you contact us and this is something that you're interested in, it's our Smart Glass product. We have a big display of it at our showroom in Sugar House that's on 15th East and 21st South. And so if this is something that you're interested in, I definitely suggest coming down and taking a look at it. It works really well for bathroom windows, front door, like side lights. It's great if you want to have privacy for when those door knockers come around and you want to just,
No solicitors.
Do you want to hear something creepy? I was once at a New York City restaurant, real trendy place for lunch. And where are the restrooms? They're over there. And there are individual restrooms that are just a stall. They have that glass on them. Before you walk in, the glass is clear. You see into the bathroom clear as day from the hallway, and you say, wait, I'm supposed to go in there, and when you shut the door, boom, the frosting starts.
Whoa.
And it's privacy.
Cool.
So cool.
Scary, because you can look out, but people can't look in. You're not sure, though.
Wow. So people are using this in commercial application for maybe conference rooms, private offices, when you just don't want people to see you.
Yeah, that's the most popular place that we're seeing it is in commercial spaces, in conference rooms and office windows.
I've also seen it in residential homes around showers.
Yep. Yes, it's a good place.
Some days you've just been eating too much, and you just need a little more privacy.
You don't want your wife.
Those are the day you just click the button.
You have
Not today, honey.
around. You just need a little privacy, and your kids always want to be in the room where you are as a mom,
It's always
right?
the bathroom too, right?
It's always
so if you
the
need that extra
bathroom.
privacy, just click the button. But it's a
guys.
great application because I do love the frosted glass, but sometimes you want to see out. And like you mentioned, in conference rooms, it really is a wow factor. If you have someone come into your office and you have this wall of glass and you can see the conference room and you go in there to have a private meeting and you click a button and it's all of a sudden frosted, okay, done deal. We're sold.
Incredible. Okay, so how do people find you guys?
I think the best way to find us is on Google ShadeCo here in Salt Lake. Our website is www.myshadeco.com. That's myshadeco.com. Our Instagram is @myshadeco. That's another great place to find us, and you can pick up some design inspiration there.
That's fantastic. Jeff Blodgett, Melanie Twiddy, you guys know everything about window coverings. Is there anything we haven't covered yet that you want to talk about?
Let's see, maybe just a few more of the trends. I know we mentioned roller shades are a huge trend and drapes. Roman shades are also kind of coming back, which is amazing. I mean, they never really went away, but it's just interesting that certain times of year or whatever, they kind of come back. So I think Roman shades are a really popular one.
So let's describe what those are.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Roman shades, they're more of a fabric shade. And they cascade up is the best way I can say it.
They almost are pleated, right? Would you describe it?
Yeah, and so instead of like rolling up or something, they bunch up at the top, and it adds a fun. I love doing them in like laundry rooms or a bathroom or even over a kitchen sink, just to add a little pop of color. So those are popular.
And with those, it's nice because we can use the same fabric that we made your draperies out of, or that we got your couch upholstered in, or your throw pillows. We can match that fabric, make you a shade that is the same and ties in perfectly with the room.
It's really important that you do hire a professional if you want to do something like a Roman shade, because I had a client recently who ordered a ton of Roman shades online, spent a lot of money, and ended up having just a disaster because there are things that you don't know. If you're a professional and you are trained in window coverings, you know certain things like fabric needs to come off the back of the headrail as opposed to the front so that it's laying closer to the window and you don't have a huge light gap. There's just things like that are really important to have a professional in your home.
Jeff and Melanie, thank you so much for joining us. We love doing this KSL Real Estate Show and offering the best advice to our listeners. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week.
You know, it's really easy to fall in love with a new home without thinking about what's close to that home. In Daybreak, you'll find literally dozens of new home styles surrounded by literally dozens of parks. Over 50 miles of trails, great neighborhood schools, a big freshwater lake, shops and restaurants. In fact, you can canoe across the lake to grab lunch. And there's so much more to come. You can explore it all at daybreakutah.com.